Gentlemen, and welcome to our weekly analysis powered by Fundamental Street and Macronomics. Today I'm going to show you how I prepare for the trading week upcoming and how I pick my trades with the help of economic data and Macronomics. So firstly, I go to the economic calendar. I map out the whole week with every important data coming in the week for me and from my watch list. So on Monday we have Eurozone CPI, which is expected to come out lower than the previous one. On Tuesday we have a pretty much technical day with no news coming. On Wednesday we have Australian GDP, which is set to rise slightly, ADP non-farm payrolls, which are a precursor of the non-farm payrolls we have on Friday, and some US PMIs both on Wednesday and Thursday, which is PMIs are soft data that are like indicating the growth of the economy. Then on Thursday we have ECB interest rates that are expected to cut by 25 basis points. Is it 25? 87, yeah. And we have initial jobless claim, which are set to cool off, which means that with this expectation, there are less people asking for jobless claims from the United States, and that reflects on Friday, which is with non-farm payrolls expectations, which are set to rise, which means that the US added like 10,000 more jobs compared to the month prior. Also on Friday we have Eurozone GDP, which is set to stay at 0.9%, and we have Canada unemployment. So given all this, reading through all this, we have Eurozone CPI, which is set to cool off. We have Eurozone interest rates, which are set to come down, and other than that, we have like the non-farm payrolls in United States, which are set to rise. And that's it from the data coming out in the next week. Given this data, I would focus on euro weakness wherever I can find it, because they have like an inflation data on Monday, and if this comes in line with expectation or even lower than the expectation, we will have much weaker euro. And with this interest rate expected to cut by 25 basis points adds a lot more pressure to the euro. And going over to Macronomics, we can see that like the euro is weaker than it's on the weak side. So what I'm going to try to find is like euro dollar. I can see euro dollar, so possibly the dollar can gain some strength with this bold expectation on non-farm payrolls, and maybe we can catch some euro dollar shorts here throughout the week. Euro pound and euro yen, euro kiwi. So all of these are stronger than the euro. So what I will be focusing on is, like I said, like a possible short on euro dollar at the start of the week, given the weak euro inflation that is expected to come. And in terms of technical points, like you can see that the price moved lower, so now we can do is wait for some correction before we try to to play this short, or yeah, so this has to come in the first part of the week because we have euro inflation, and if we see inflation in Europe coming out as expected or lower, we can look for euro dollar shorts even from here, like maybe on Monday we have some support, some resistance forming in here, and maybe we can catch this. But initially I would love price to come back here. Talking about dollar, if we zoom out on it, we can see that dollar is stretching lower for the past month. For the whole February it was stretching lower, and we have lower GDP, we have slightly stronger inflation, but NFP disappointed last month, and jolts like the employment sector is getting hurt in the US. So maybe we can see dollar at 108, but my guess is that dollar will come back to this 107, 106 handles in the coming month. But we have to take care about take into consideration the non-farm payrolls, which are expected to rise. So during this week, maybe we can see dollar at 108 before Friday and stays right like how we're seeing here before the news comes out, or maybe, I don't know, we will see. But as for trades, we covered euro dollar. Now going over to euro CAD, which is not like clear short, but with expectations of that the expectations are that the euro will be weaker during the week, because you can see here inflation for the Europe is positive right now, but if this comes as expected or lower, this will turn red and euro will come here, which will be weaker than the CAD, so we can use that to our advantage. And on Monday morning, which is tomorrow, maybe we can look for some price action like this before we enter, or maybe even if it goes like higher at 1.5 or holds these resistance levels here, maybe we can try to play it from here or even from here, somewhere in the 1.5 area. A lot of euro this week. The whole focus for me will be on euro, and another one is euro yen, because we can see that euro is much weaker than yen, and from the data we have not much going for the Japan, but we have a lot of data for Europe. So given that into perspective, we can see even on the higher time frame. On the higher time frame, the euro yen is pretty solid. Like it's, look at these levels here. Look at the support, but we can still try to catch some euro yen shorts if the opportunity arises. So we have like the strong resistance here, and on the smaller time frame we can see price wants to go lower, but it comes back here, and even on the lower time frames like this is like a setup for tomorrow London New York session, if everything comes in line with expectations of euro inflation. So maybe we can play this one, like pull a fib here, and if we get back here like 50-60 pips stop loss and going for the lows here, will be okay. What do we have next? Swiss. I'm not touching the Swiss. GA. So GA, GBP Aussie. So GBP is stronger than the Aussie, but you can see how elevated this is, and you can see the price action starting to reverse. So I won't be looking at this. I think that this is good enough. And another thing I want to point out is that if we see a risk-off scenario on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can see that dollar will fly, and we can look for our opportunities to buy dollars against any other currency. And we can, yeah, cable looks good. Like, I was tracking this, but it's not budging as of now. So maybe, let's see here, if this is the 1 hour, so if we're about to see some strength into dollar, maybe we can play this breakout, or maybe if dollar at the start of the week comes weaker, we can wait for some correction to up here before we're taking our trade. But this is dependent on strong dollar, and that only. And the only thing that can push dollar higher is the non-farm payrolls expectations and possibly some news from Trump, because you can see, you can experience what the Trump era is about. Like, there is no calculation, there is no prediction. Like, it's very, very volatile, because the guy can come and push a tweet and the market tumbles. It's simple as that. It's so unpredictable, so we have to stay sharp and pick our trades wisely. So if we have a risk-off scenario and dollar goes higher, we'll be looking at euro-dollar shorts and cable shorts, which is GBP USD. And we will be also looking for euro weakness across the board, because we have the weak data coming in for Europe. So euro CAD 1.5, euro yen, like, we can, if we can see 156.70, I will be in it. And yeah, that's it for this week. This is how I go through the preparation for the markets, and I hope you enjoyed it and got some value out of it, and see ya next week.